back with the 400EX. As you guys know, I got this on trade for the TTR 230 I had, and I had to pay 500 bucks on top of that, and then I had to buy another carburetor for the guy as well. So right now I'm probably in this thing right around 2,200 bucks for this Honda 400EX. Last video on this thing absolutely ripped. If you guys missed that video, go check it out so you guys can kind of see the comparison between this and the new Honda 400EX once we install the Hotcams Stage 2, which is what we're going to be doing today. So last video we didn't touch the engine on this thing at all. The owner of this supposedly said that there's a 416 big bore kit installed on this thing with a JR piston. So we will see when we dig into it today. We are going to install a Hotcams. So I got this off of eBay. It was like $225 bucks. Came with a cam chain as well. And here is the part. I didn't even look at it yet. Let's see what else is in here. Probably, I think there's bearings as well, maybe. Sticker. So it did come in a Hotcams box, which is good. A lot of people on eBay sell fakes, so you kind of have to look out for that. Let's just open this up and see what this thing looks like. So with this one, with the Hotcams, you don't use the decompression pin like the stock cam. And a lot of people say that these Stage 2 really boost all ranges of the 400EX if you install it with a big bore kit. And they said also if you install it with a high compression piston, you see a big difference as well. This is what it looks like. So right here is the spot on the stock cam where you see the decompression mechanism that pushes down the pin with a little spring in the head. Alright, let's see what the numbers look like here. They should be stamped with the Hotcams mark somewhere on here. Hopefully it is. Oh, it says Hotcams right there. You can see it's like ground off. See that? It says Hotcams. I don't know why they put it right there. Kind of weird. But maybe the newer ones don't have the stamp on it. Not too sure. Let me know in the comments. Hopefully this one isn't a fake one. I paid a lot for it. But then the cam chain, I don't think it's anything special. We might not even install that because the one on it's very quiet. But also, a lot of people say that these are very, very noisy. And it kind of sounds like your top end's going to fall out when you install these. So if we install it and the top end is noisy, it's most likely just the cam. So a lot of people actually directly called Hotcams and asked about that, and they said that their cams are noisy. But I came with this little slip here. Hotcams card for the Stage 2. So valve lash is 0.13 millimeters. Valve lash on the exhaust is 0.15 millimeters. So 0.15 is about 0.006 inches, and then 0.13 is about 0.005 inches, so just a tiny bit bigger than stock. But yeah, we are going to install that and then give it a test drive and see if performance is better on this thing. I guess it really, really helps out the top end as well. Alright, we'll start by taking off the seat here. Alright, and then to get the gas tank off, you need to take out all these clips, the side plastics, and then this plastic front part actually can just fold right over once you get all the clips out. Then the gas tank should be accessible and pretty easy to get out. But yeah, you can see it's pretty clean in here. No mud or anything, so we shouldn't get anything in the engine when we take it apart. These have 10mm bolts. Usually on the gas tank there's rubber bands that go from the gas tank down to the frame right here. Holding on the gas tank, these are missing. Just gonna hang it like that. You can see it's held on by the ignition wire right there. But now we can get the gas tank off. Gas tank has the two 10mm up here. And then usually it has the straps holding it down right here, but those are off of it, so. Got the heat guard right here. Again, this is pretty simple. You've got the two 10mm, and then you want to remember when you reinstall it, this cable goes over the top for the throttle. A lot of people put that underneath and gets caught and doesn't go on correctly. One of those and two 10mm. You want to lift up on this one. Okay, get that out of the way. And then this plate should come right out. And voila, here could the engine. Pretty simple. So that took about 5 minutes to do. Then we've got the cam cover right here. So this is the tricky part. These 8mm bolts like to break off. If you haven't had this cover off ever before, they like to get stuck in the head. So a lot of people break these off and then they have to take an easy out and get them out of the head, and then they end up wrecking the head, and then they have to buy a new head, and it turns into a big thing. So really take your time getting out those 8mm bolts right here. And it looks like all of these are still intact here. Sometimes you can pull up and they'll pull right out if they've been stripped out or broken off, and all these seem pretty tight on here. And also the spark plug boot can come out. The guy did say he put a new boot on here. That thing's really tight on there. That doesn't want to come out. But then we have this bolt going across. We have to take that out with the two spacers right here. And the two spacers can only fit in one way when you reinstall it, so don't worry about that. These just need a little bit of force to get off. I just have to, there you go. If you've recently started the bike, oil should drip out of here. Yeah, so these are pretty clean. But typically oil will drain out of here and out of the cover when you take it off. So make sure you put a bucket underneath to catch that oil. I haven't started this thing in like 3 weeks, so that's why it didn't drain out. 14mm nut on here. What I like to do to get this bolt out of here, a lot of people try to pound on that. You're going to screw up the threads, so take your impact and just get this thing nice and loose from the other side, and then just push it out while you spin it. Just like that. All right, now it's time for the fun part. We're gonna try to get all these bolts out of here. If you feel like it's resisting you, you wanna go the other way, go in reverse with the wrench here, and then you can kind of work it loose. All these feel pretty good so far. They break loose right away, so. That one was a little bit iffy. And there's a 112 millimeter up here. After you get all these out. So we didn't break any yet. Which is good. A lot of people break this one too, so be careful with it. That one came right out. Cool, get these out. So just kind of note where they come out. The longer ones go on the right side. Those are kind of what those look like. That's what that looks like. Alright, we got a rubber mallet here. Just gonna pound on the valve cover a little bit. Should pop free. If it doesn't, it's probably on there a little tighter. And this actually has a gasket on this one. A lot of people just put the silicone gasket maker on there, which is a pain to get off then. Oh, there's one more in here. But you can see a little oil dripping down. That's why we have the oil catch down below. This should just pull right out. Be careful not to drop anything of importance down there. And those rockers look great. No wear on them at all. I'll move freely. Those look good. Lucky. We already have a stage 2 cam installed, and it looks like we actually might. Huh, this is interesting. Looks like this cam was messed with. They got rid of the decompression pin. This might be a stage 2 cam in it already. Wouldn't that be something? Unless they modified the stock one and got rid of the decompression mechanism, which I think that's what they did. Huh. That is very interesting. Cam chain feels nice and tight on there. Looks really clean in here. There's oil at the top right here, so that means the oil pump's working. So everything is looking really good. But yeah, they already deleted the decompression pin there. Let's set this thing to top dead center. We'll go down below and do that, and then we'll check out this cam a little bit further. Oh, geez. There we go. Wow. I don't know if this one's gonna come out. Oh, there we go. Wow, those were like torqued on. That's crazy. Right now we're just going to rotate this to the T. Try to find that T. This is a 17 millimeter bolt right here. And we're looking for the T up in this window here. There's the T right there. There's the T with the line. You can kind of see it right there. So we're at top dead center. right now. We'll come up and see what the lobes look like. So the lobes are pointing down. That means we're at true top dead center. And then if you come over here, you can see the sprocket lines for the timing. This one's perfectly parallel with the head. And if you look behind here, you can kind of see that one too. There's a line right there, parallel with the head, the surface of the head. So timing's spot on with this thing. So far I don't see any signs of it being a Hotcams. There's no logo on it or anything yet. So it might just be a stock cam converted to work without the decompression pin. Alright, I thought this was kind of interesting. It just got the plug out. You can see the tip is pretty white actually. So it looks like it might be running lean. So we might have to rejet the carburetor. I don't know if they rejetted it for the pipe or not, so it looks like it might be running a little bit lean. We might have to put some bigger jets in the carb. Alright, we've got this set to top to center. In order to get the cam chain loosened up, we have to take out the tensioner right there. Looks like they're running the stock tensioner, which I recommend. The manual one, a lot of people over tension the chain, and that can cause problems. A lot of people under tension it, and it causes it ticking. So every time you take off the top end, just check this thing over, make sure the spring mechanism is working in here, and we'll check it out and I'll show you guys that once we get that out of there. Alright, so we got the tensioner out. You can see it doesn't push in. That's what you want. Then we'll take that little screw out, and what you can do is you can make this little guy come in as you turn the screw. I think it's clockwise. This rod will come in, and then when you put it back into the machine, you just flick that little screw in there, and this will come out in tension to the exact tension you need on that chain, and that's kind of how that works. But a lot of times that spring mechanism in there can break, and this will push in when it has tension on it, and that's not good. And then your cam chain will be loose and it'll wreck everything, be loud, can skip time, bend the valves. So really make sure the tensioner is good. Alright, tensioner's out. Now the cam chain's nice and loose on there. See? So we'll get the cam out of there and inspect that. To get the cam out, there's two pins right here, one right there, and one right there. You want to take that off, and then you want to take off these bearings on each side, and that gives you more play to get this cam chain off. You just grab a needle nose. See how they come right out like that. Pull that up a little bit. Usually these bearings can come out there like that. That bearing is smooth. Feels really good. With this one, try to get this bearing off of here. Bearing is off. Again, really smooth. And here, so the cam chain doesn't fall. Like that. And then you just pull this guy out of here. And the cam is out. Alright, we got the Hotcams right here. This is the original cam from the 400EX. You can see that it is in fact the stock cam. This is where the decompression pin would go to hold on that mechanism. And they just welded those off. And then right here you can see there's a J right there, and then an M right there. So that's just stock. I looked all over for a Hotcams marking and there isn't one. And another thing that shows the stock is the end is like that. See, it's got those little grooves in there where it fits on the bearing. The Hotcams does not have that. See that? I just want to quick go through and measure the lobes on these. because I thought it would be interesting to see the difference between the hot cam and the stock cam for measurements here. So if we measure these in millimeters, the stock cam, the first one, the first lobe, is 30.47. And the hot cams, you can see it doesn't fit over it, a little bit bigger, is 30.94. And you can see way bigger than these. So the second one, second lobe, is 30.68. Second lobe on here, 30.97. I think it's 30.98, 30.97 for each of these. And then on the stock, it's third lobe is 30.3, 30.5 right there. Let's see. The last lobe's a little bit bigger, 30.72. So I don't know if these lobes are just worn down on the stock cam, but these are way bigger. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, let's install the hot cams. We've got to take off the sprocket on the stock cam, swap it over. We're going to put some Loctite on there. Alright, sprocket is all installed. We Loctited those 2 bolts and torqued those down. So this is ready to be installed onto the machine here. Alright, just going to lube this guy up a little bit with some oil here. Never had oil on it, so I want to lube that up before it starts spinning around in there. Better to have too much lubrication than not enough. Alright, and then timing spot on. The lines with the sprocket are parallel to the surface of the head, lobes are pointing down. Everything's good to go. Let's put everything back together. Alright, so here's the cam chain tensioner. And if you turn it clockwise, you'll see that rod moving in, and it should click into place at the end. See how it just sprung back out? Should click in right there. So then you can install it like this, and then when you want to tension the chain, you just put the screwdriver in there and just rotate it a little bit. It'll spring back out and tension to the exact amount you need. And this one's working great. So we can reinstall that. Alright, so Hotcams recommends that you set the exhaust to 0.006 inches, and those are set perfectly. Just set those, and then for the intake it's going to be tad smaller at 0.005 inches. As you can see, just set those. Those look good. Alright, we can get the valve caps back on and then assemble this whole thing. Alright, engine is back together. Let's take a look at that carburetor. We saw that the spark plug was pretty white, so I'm going to check the jetting in there. Make sure they rejetted it for the pipe they put on here. Alright, so it looks like the jet in there was a 155, you can see right there. So I looked it up online. They recommend for a White Brothers a 155, but with a K&N air filter, which is what we have, I think we have to go up a little bit more. So we're going to do a 158. We're going to change it to a 158 just because it was running so well with a 155. I don't want to mess it up too much. But we never had any problems with the 155. But I don't like the white plug, so I'm just going to put a little bit richer main in there. And hopefully that'll take care of that problem. Alright, everything is back together. We've got the 158 main in there. Let's see if she fires up with that new cam. Boy, has it been like 3 weeks, so we'll see. you can hear the ticking on the cam. But that's normal, everyone says, so. Started right up, no issues there. Alright, started right up. Timing must be spot on, so we did that correctly. And this thing sounds pretty powerful, so let's go take it to the land and go test her out. Alright, made it out to the land. Soybeans are looking pretty good. They're getting a little dried out, so that's good. These fuzzy little guys on there. It's just crazy to me that they can grow in sand like this, but look at those. Those are looking really good. So I think the farmer harvests end of October, I'm guessing. So this whole field will be gone end of October. Then we have all this riding space. That'll be awesome. But yeah, time to test out the 2001 Honda 400EX with the 416 big bore and the now Hotcams stage 2. Thing is going to fly. Alright, let's see if she fires up. Oh yeah, sounds good. Alright, this thing is just insane. Obviously we need some new back tires. Those are getting pretty bald. But man, the power on this thing, I didn't know how it could be increased, but it is increased, and it's just insane. Thing flies. I thought before it was good. I mean, now it's just super consistent throughout all the gears. You have power in every single gear now. It's just like you don't even have to shift down. It's really nice. So that cam definitely added power to it. I don't know how much, but it seems like it added quite a bit. Alright, so far I've noticed a huge power increase with that cam. So this thing must be big board, because usually without a big board you wouldn't even notice it, so. I mean, it's a pretty big increase.
close with feel that little boost at the end there? I think that's from the cam. It's like you don't run out of speed. It's crazy. It's a lot easier to pop up too. Second gear, it just pops right up now. Never used to do that before. So if we get into second gear here. Yeah, this thing is really fun. I think we have plenty of power now. Flying. Absolutely flying.
Alright, well, that stage 2 Hotcams did not disappoint. Man, the power increase, I can definitely feel it. Definitely feel it. We are going to take the speedometer and attach it to the quad and just see how fast we're going down this stretch, because we've got to be going at least 60 down that stretch, or pretty close to it. So man, it gets up to speed fast, has instant power. So I recommend installing the stage 2 cam if you have a big bore kit. But yeah, this thing is so fun to ride.
Alright, we've got the speedo hooked up here. Let's just see how fast we can go down that stretch, because I'm guessing it's pretty fast. So we will see. No leaking from anything yet, so that's good. There we go. On the way back we'll be faster, I bet. Start right here. Here we go. I think we hit 60. That's crazy. Let's see what we hit. Oh man. Max speed. Oh, 58.15. So close to 60 miles an hour. And that's on a trail with the wheels with bald tires going down there. And that's probably a quarter mile. So I'd say that's pretty good. That gets up to speed fast. Really fast, and we were like 4th gear, I think. So not bad. Alright, there you go. 58.15 max speed on just grass, quarter mile. It's really, really fast. For comparison, I believe the Kawasaki Takate went 45, so another 10 miles an hour, and that thing's 2-stroke, and that thing gets up to speed really fast too. So this thing is definitely fast. I don't know what the top speed would be. We'll have to take it on the road to see, but I'm guessing it's pretty high. But yeah, that wraps up today's video. I think the ride speaks for itself. The Stage 2 cam definitely adds power, and it's super easy to install. Took me maybe 30 minutes for the whole thing, so not bad at all. And it works with the stock bearings, stock cam chain, so it's very easy. And then just make sure, I skipped this step because it was already out of there, that spring, that decompression spring, take that out, and then that little pin you have to take out in the head. But mine was already out because the guy modified the stock cam. But yeah, that's it guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video. I'll probably keep on adding to this thing. Until next time, we are out.